this episode, we'll be featuring the pinning of a 2011 Ford Fiesta ignition. We'll be starting off with a typical Strattec repair kit, which now incorporates all the components needed to pin this lock up to completion. When we break this down, we have a number of various components. These are all the tumbler packs and tumbler springs. And then we also have many other components we'll be using today. First off being the case, and then we have the cylinder, two main components. We also have grease. We have a pre-pack that includes a lot of retainer pieces. And then we also are including with this Fiesta ignition a key that is cut to all 5 depths in order to help us assemble it better. And you'll see what I mean as we get further along in the process when we have to insert the tumbled cylinder into the case. First step in pinning the Fiesta ignition is the pinning of the cylinder. And again, this is the most crucial step. You'll note we have a left side and a right side, and that's how we're going to orientate the tumbling. But before that, in a previous slide, you'll note that for the exercise, we have a certain cut key, and it's an external 2-track Fiesta, and you can reference the different tumbler positions that we used from that slide. Also of note in this package that you'll use later on is a all 5 depth cut key, and this will help the assembly of the cylinder into the case later on. And that comes in all the repair kits that you would buy at your distributor for the 2011 Fiesta. But to begin with, we're going to start with tumbling the cylinder, and again, as I referenced before, we're going to be starting on this left side. So positions 1 and 5, tumbler wards 1 and 5 are lefts, and then when you flip it over, just imagine that you're standing on the left side and you count 1, 2, 3, 4 is a left, and then all the way up to 8 is a left as well. So again, we're going to start though at the bottom, down in position 1. And as with any of the side mill we've produced so far, you're going to use grease as your retention for your tumbler springs, because the tumblers are not snap-in, the tumblers are just retained. The little grease will help. So to start off, that position and that cut for the tumbler number 1 is a 4 left. So again, what we've done here is we've laid out all our tumblers in order, and I have my rights laid out up here, my lefts down here. I have my grease ready from the grease pack that's included. I'm going to open it up. Basically, I'm going to start by putting a little bit of grease in my tumbler wards that I'm going to populate. So I'm going to do the 1 and the number 5 position. I'll start with putting a tumbler spring in, and these are fairly small tumbler springs. I'm going to put those in first. That's position 1 left, and this is position 5 left. The 1 left, according to the key cuts, again is a 4L. And I'm going to take a 4L out of my pile there. I'm going to insert it in here. And then the other one in position 5 is a 2L. Okay? And these tumblers are marked, they're stamped right on the tumblers. Okay, so once we finish tumbling that side, those left 2 positions, we're going to flip it over 180 and watch the tumblers because they're not self-retaining. And we're going to do positions 4 and 8 on the left side. Remember, we're sticking with the left side. We're going to take a little bit of grease in number 4 to help retain, and a little bit in number 8 to help retain. And we're then going to insert our tumbler springs in positions 4, and again position 8, and then again, based on the chart that we gave you, the positions 4 and 8, number 4 uses a 2L and number 8 uses a 4L. So we're going to get another 2L out of our pile and insert it there. And then we're going to get another 4 left and put it in station 8. And now, basically, the left side is done. What we can do is check our tumbler positions by taking the cut key, inserting it, making sure it's flush, the tumblers are flush on both sides, and they are. Now that we've finished the left side tumbling, we're going to go to the right side. We're going to start again with our grease and put a little grease in the, try to get it in the spring hole as well as the tumbler ward together. And then we go with pick up a tumbler spring and put both springs in. This is position 2 and also a right side position 6. And we'll get the tumbler springs in first, and then the tumbler station 2 is using a 5 right. So I'm going to pick up a number 5 tumbler out of our organized tumblers there, put it in, and then I'm going to go to the number 6 station, which is going to be a 4 right. All right, and then if we want to flip over, just be very careful, hold our finger underneath. And the last 2 right side tumbler positions are a number 3 and a number 7. The number 3 position is using another 4 tumbler. But before that, we're going to put a little grease in. Don't want to forget that. And again, put our tumbler springs in. And then we can grab that first tumbler, which is the 4. Put that into position. And then the last one is utilizing a number 3, right. And again, that's our last tumbler. Now to check this out, we're going to take our key, we're going to insert it in, and sometimes the cuts will be very tight, and we want to make sure they're flush on both sides. Okay, and that is now essentially tumbled. The next thing that we're going to want to do is put the guides in. So we're going to take this key out very carefully and put in a couple different pieces here. We have the these guides, as they're called, and again, make sure they're going in right. I'll put this one on the top first in that slot, and then this one here. Again, they'll only go one way in there. Get that upside down. And also, again, we have this key guide on the end. So we know that we've tumbled it correct because we tried the specifically cut key out. Now what we're going to do is use this all 5 depths. Again, it's a little bit tricky because you're holding the tumblers down, you're putting this key guide on, and then you have those 2 other sliders in position. So now what you got to do is pick up that case and slide in basically until you get it inside. You can pull the key out, and And what you're going to want to do is put in the cut key. And you'll be able to get it into position with the actual cut key. Now the whole purpose of this key without the cross on it was so that you could insert the cylinder through that case assembly. Obviously with a key with the cross on it, you wouldn't get it through the way this is designed, so we are including this with the repair kits. Okay, it's a good useful tool. So now that we've done that, we're ready for the next step, which is the lever that will essentially hold the cylinder in. So there's a couple steps here. There's 3 pieces. You have the lever itself, which drops into this slot. You have a spring that goes down in there, and then you have a cap that essentially will snap on, that you're going to want to seat and make sure it's snapped into position and flat and flush. Okay, after we've put this lever and last retainer in, the final step is the cylinder retainer. Essentially you have 3 more pieces. You have spring and a pin. The spring goes in that hole, and then the thin end of the pin drops in there. And then essentially you're taking this cap and putting the hole through that pin and snapping it into place, making sure it's seated back there fully up here. And essentially now you have a finished Fiesta ignition. Make sure it turns properly and that the key can be removed and inserted and turned. And essentially that is the Fiesta ignition pinning process.